What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be going over how you can get all 25 returning legendary Pokemon in the Indigo disc. In one copy of Pokemon Scarlet or Violet with the Indigo disc DLC, you're going to be able to get all 25 of these legendary Pokemon. There are going to be some of them that are going to be in your game by default, and some of them you're only going to be able to get after doing interactions with another game in co-op. But you're never going to have to trade them. You can catch them all and be their original trainer. And the availability in which you're going to be able to get all of these Pokemon is going to be split into 4 different categories. These 4 Pokemon, the legendary birds and Kubfu, all Scarlet and Violet players are going to be able to get without any online interaction. The selection of Pokemon at the top of the screen, being Raikou, Entei, Suicune, Ho, Latios, Groudon, Reshiram, Solgaleo, and Glastrier are going to be obtained by Scarlet players with no online interaction. The selection of Pokemon at the bottom, including Lugia, Latios, Kyogre, Cobalion, Terrakion, Virizion, Zekrom, Lunala, and Spectrier are going to be obtainable by Violet players with no online interaction. And these 3 Pokemon, Rayquaza, Kyurem, and Necrozma, can only be obtained with online interaction. These different categories mean a lot if you are only playing offline. But if you're playing online, you're going to be able to get all 25 of them in your one game. And that has to break down with how you're completing BBQ BP. These Blueberry Academy quests are going to dictate what Pokemon you're going to be able to get. After completing the storyline and seeing the credits of the Indigo disc, you're going to be able to make your way to the front of the Academy and talk to Snacksworth over here. Snacksworth is going to be giving you Pokemon snacks. After completing 10 of these simple lower blue quests down here, you're going to be getting access to one of your local legendary Pokemon snacks. However, if you join a Union Room and you complete the large gold quests at the top, which are only done after you complete a bunch of blues and then reds and then you get the golds, you get access to the other version's legendary Pokemon as well as the group legendary Pokemon. If you're playing Pokemon Scarlet, you're going to be getting access to these 3 rows of Pokemon for completing all of your blue quests, including Kubfu over here. And then for completing your gold quests only in Union Room with interactions from other players in co-op, you're going to be getting access to these 2 rows of Pokemon down here. If you are a Pokemon Violet player, you're going to be getting access to these 3 rows of Pokemon, including Kubfu over here, for single player interactions or completing any of the blue quests, and then completing your gold quests with interactions from other players with another copy of Scarlet or Violet. You're going to be getting snacks for these legendary Pokemon down here. Since while you're doing online quests, you're also completing blue quests, I would highly recommend that if you have access to people doing Union Room, to do that. That also goes for future-proofing if you are going to be playing offline when there's no more Nintendo Switch servers in existence. You could have either version of the game playing both of them in offline mode, and completing the quests, you can unlock all of these legendary Pokemon. If you need advice on how to complete BBQ BPs, I've already made a detailed guide on that. You can go check that out. It's going to be linked in the top right corner. The order in which he gives you the snacks for the Pokemon is completely random every time you do it. You can, in theory, decide to save in front of him and only do 10 blue quests if you want Kubfu. And then if you don't get the Kubfu snack in your one time that you have eligible, you can turn the game off, turn it back on, re-interact with him, and you might get Kubfu again, you might not, and you can keep resetting until he is the one that you get. Just a little bit of ball math to help you out. Most of them are going to have a catch rate of 3, the lowest catch rate of any Pokemon. Because of that, turn 1 quick ball is always the most effective. After turn number 1 and before turn number 11, you should be either using a repeat ball if you already have this Pokemon, as that's the most effective, followed by a dusk ball if it's nighttime, or a net ball if it's a water type like Kyogre and Suicune. And if it's none of those things, then an ultra ball is best. However, at turn 11 and onward, if you use a timer ball, you have your best odds at 14.4% if it's at 1 HP and paralyzed, but if it's at 1 HP and asleep, you're looking at 21.3%. So if you get into sleep after turn 11, you're most likely going to be getting it within 5, practically guaranteed at 10 balls. And the very last thing to say is every single one of these Pokemon is shiny locked. You cannot save and reset in front of them for them to be shiny. Also, As opposed to the previous 6 games in which you were able to catch previous legendary Pokemon, these Pokemon do not have any guaranteed IVs. The first legendary Pokemon in National Dex order that we're going to be looking at is going to be Articuno from the town of Montevera. If you look just to the left, you're going to be seeing this circular lake that has a little bump right there. From this island, just absolutely tiny little bit north of it, right here at my exact location is where Articuno is going to be located. If you're on the little island and you just sort of pan around, you cannot miss him. He's going to be right there. It's going to be having Trick Room, Future Sight, Double Team, and Hurricane. Double Team can be a little annoying, so I recommend that you, as soon as possible, either put to sleep or paralyze it for your best chances. Our second legendary Pokemon is going to be a ridiculously easy one to find, and that's going to be right here at the Poco Path, the Inlet Grotto, and specifically here at the Poco Path Lighthouse. Fast travel to the Poco Path Lighthouse, climb the staircase, and Zapdos is just kind of hanging out on the railing. It has Zap Cannon, Magnetic Flux, Detect, and Thunder. Detect can be a little bit annoying because it pretty much works like Protect, but other than that, it shouldn't give you too much trouble. Next up is going to be Moltres from the Asado Desert Watchtower right in the middle. You're going to be seeing this slightly off-colored bit of mountain. Fly on over there and you're going to be seeing a higher up area. Once you go to the higher up area, you're going to be seeing Moltres right up there. Very easy to find. Moltres has Sky Attack, Overheat, Endure, and Hurricane. It's going to be pretty easy for you to take down, and the fact that it has Endure is going to make your life even easier because that always leaves it with 1 HP if for whatever reason you're not doing False Swipe. Next up is going to be Raikou. Looking at the middle left portion of the map, West Province, Area 1, right below the desert, you're going to be seeing this circular area here surrounded by water, and you're going to be seeing this higher up path. This little bit of grass right here by this higher up path, this is where you're going to be able to go to encounter Raikou. He has Extra Sensory, Discharge, Reflect, and Rain Dance, and he's not that hard to take down. Next up on the list is going to be Entei. If you're looking at Lavencia, Iono's town, and you're going to be having this Lavencia Lighthouse as one of your fast travel points, if you were to go just a little bit north, you're going to be seeing this outlying border over here. If you were to just fly up over there, you're going to be seeing this railing off to the side, followed by this little hill. Right next to that little hill is where you're going to be finding Entei. Entei has Sunny Day, Swagger, Lava Plume, and Extra Sensory. Not that hard to take down, although Swagger might hurt you a little bit, so be careful of that. The final of the 3 legendary beasts is Suicune here at Casaroya Lake. From the fast travel point in the middle of the lake, there's going to be one small island directly to the left. If you just go fly on over there, you cannot miss him as he's on this tiny little bump right there. Suicune is going to be having Rain Dance, Mirror Coat, Surf, and Extra Sensory. As long as you're not using a special move, you have nothing to worry about. Next is going to be Lugia. If you're looking at the North Province Area 1 Watchtower, this is the one by like the 3 dragon trainers and the 3 really broken down towers. All you're going to do is fly north of this, and you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of small islands. This tiny little circular island is where Lugia is going to be located. He's going to be in the water, so right next to this piece of land, you're going to be able to find him no problem. Lugia has Rain Dance, Aeroblast, Recover, and Extra Sensory, so just like Ho-Oh, you may have a little bit of trouble with his recovery. Just use Sword Dance on your False Swipe it or bring it down to 1 HP every time that it does recover. Next up is going to be Ho-Oh, and Ho-Oh is going to be in a very specific location. If you're looking at the town of Alfornada, and you look to the right, you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of green grass. This one small circle with a tree on it is exactly where you need to go in order for you to go ahead and find Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh has Sunny Day, Sacred Fire, Recover, and Extra Sensory. Because it has Recover, it may make your life a little bit more difficult, so I recommend having Sword Dance on your False Swiper. That way he can take its health down all the way down to 1 HP every single time that it recovers to make your life a little bit easier. Next up is going to be the legendary Pokemon Latias. So, South Province, Area 4. Right here we have the Watchtower. From the Watchtower, if you look just directly south, you're going to be seeing this itty-bitty tiny little bit of beach. Directly in the middle of this little bit of beach, you're going to be seeing that rock right there. See that rock? Right next to that rock, that's where Latias is going to be located. Latias has Healing Wish, Guard, Split, Psychic, and Reflect type, so not very difficult. For Latios, from Fury Falls, you know, the little bamboo area over here, if you head directly south, right here we're going to be having what I always call the Dratini Circle. And then right south of the Dratini Circle, you're going to be seeing this very strangely shaped pond. On this little lake, if you go just a little bit to the south, right where my little Rotom searcher is, that's exactly where Latios is going to be located. Good luck taking it down, it's not that difficult. Up next is going to be Kyogre. Kyogre is one of the easiest ones to find. All you have to do is go to the Gracia Stones fast travel point right outside of Casaroya Lake. And from the Gracia Stones, just kind of look up a little bit. You're going to be seeing Kyogre out in the water. Yeah, he's over there. Careful though, because Kyogre has Aqua Ring, which is going to heal a little bit of his health every single turn. If your False Swiper is weak to water attacks, you may want to do something else as far as being able to take him back down to 1 HP every time you need. Next is going to be Groudon, who's going to be one of the easiest legendaries for you to take down. From Alfornada, all you need to do is go ahead and head inside of the cavern right next to it. And as you're entering the cavern, you want to hug the right side. You're going to be seeing this ramp going down. From this ramp going down, just hop up and go directly to the back. You're going to be passing the wild terrestrialized Pokemon on your left. Just keep going straight. This battle with Groudon, he has the move Rest to completely recover his health. But him being asleep makes him easier to catch. So get your False Swiper to have Sword Stance on there, bring it down to 1 HP every single time that it does rest. And that just saves you having to put it to sleep yourself. So easy. Next is going to be the legendary Pokemon Rayquaza. So from the South Province, Area 3 Watchtower. From here, if you look to the left, you're going to be seeing this little hump of land right up here at the top, right before we get to the grass. If you're looking at this little hump of land, and then you're seeing this little bit of highest peak, this is about the area you want to go. He's going to be the only thing there. You really can't miss him. He has the moves Fly, Rest, Hyper Voice, and Dragon Pulse. So if he has Rest, it's going to make your life a little bit easier because he's going to put himself to sleep. But remember, your best chance at catching a legendary Pokemon is always a turn 1 Quick Ball, in which I got my Rayquaza. So never neglect the Quick Ball. Onto the Swords of Justice. From Fury Falls, the bamboo area, if you have the fast travel point, all you have to do is go to the top right here by this little bit of grass. This little bit of grass right here, all you need to go to right from that fast travel point, you cannot miss it. Cobalion is going to be hanging out right there. His moves are Close Combat, Iron Head, Sword Dance, and Sacred Sword. So because he has Sword Dance, he can actually kind of take you down if he manages to stack a +6 attack and then hit you with something pretty powerful. So just watch out for that. Terrakion has one of the more pain in the butt locations. If you're looking at the Dark Cruise base, here's the West Province Area 1 Watchtower. If you look just to the right of that, you're going to be seeing this large circle. Let's just say it's a giant boulder. Just south of that giant boulder, pretty much right where my cursor is, that's where you're going to find Terrakion. He has the moves Close Combat, Stone Edge, Sword Dance, and Sacred Sword, so pretty much the same thing as Cobalion. And if you're also using another False Swiper, then you're pretty much used to it being not very effective between both of these guys, so it's the same battle. It's the exact same battle. The third Swords of Justice member, here in the Tag Tree Thicket. If you're looking up toward the top right, you're going to be seeing this sort of little dead end right over here. This is where all the trees are painted and stuff. Right here at the top right is where you're going to be finding Virizion. Kind of hard to miss. I mean, he's green, so yeah. And he has the moves Close Combat, Leaf Blade, Sword Dance, Sacred Sword. He's another one of the same two things you just did. Cool. Up next is going to be Reshiram. From the town of Zapopico, right here on the map, you're going to be seeing this large waterfall, and you want to go up to the highest part of this waterfall, in particularly this southern part, right where my cursor is. That is the location of Reshiram, directly south of Zapopico. Reshiram has Fire Blast, Hyper Voice, Fusion Flare, and Flamethrower. So if you're using Breloom with Spore, you might not want to be using your Breloom because he's not going to last very long. Next up is going to be Zekrom. Zekrom is very easy to get from Artisan, the grass town all the way at the basic starting area of the game. You just want to head south to this enormous higher up area. See these ruins? You're going to want to go just a little bit south, a little bit east of those ruins, and that's where you're going to be finding Zekrom. Zekrom has Thunder, Hyper Voice, Fusion Bolt, and Thunderbolt. Pretty easy to take down. It shouldn't be too much trouble. If you're using a Thunder Wave Pokemon, that's not going to work on Reshiram because of his typing. The legendary Pokemon Kyurem. From the Dalazapa Passage, you're going to want to face to the right and start heading up the ramp. As you're heading up the ramp, you're going to hug to the left, and as you're hugging up the left, you're going to see one area where it looks like the wall just isn't loaded. That's actually sort of a, for lack of a better term, we'll call it a window. Go through that window, drop straight down, you're going to be seeing Kyurem hanging out there. There's many other ways to get to this location. This just seemed the easiest to explain. Kyurem is going to be having Imprison, Blizzard, Scary Face, and Hyper Voice. It's not really that difficult to take down. Next up is one of the most difficult legendary Pokemon for you to actually capture in this game, and that's going to be Solgaleo. Here at the Pokemon League, you're just going to go to the roof of the Pokemon League, just fly on up there. And the reason it's very difficult is because of Solgaleo's moveset. Solgaleo has Flare Blitz, Solar Beam, Wild Charge, and Metal Burst. 2 of his moves give him recoil damage. So if you're like, oh, well, I'll just run this and he'll resist it and then he won't want to do that, he has something else. So I doubt you're going to find the perfect Pokemon to combat this. Just make sure that you save in front and it may take you a few times. Next is going to be the Pokemon Moon Pokemon Lunala. It looks like a moon. Over here at Poromananada, you're going to go directly north, and once you start heading over toward, I guess technically, Casaroya Lake, you're going to be seeing this little tiny zigzag of grass and these 2 trees. Lunala is going to be right here on the grass behind these 2 trees. Now, do keep in mind, Lunala is a Ghost-type Pokemon, so you're not going to be able to do False Swipe on it unless you change its typing first. I personally used a Basculegion who had Soak. Once I soaked it, it was considered a water type, and I was able to do False Swipe to it, no problem. Next is going to be Necrozma. At the Sakura Trail, the closest fast travel point is the Gracia Stones. If you head here and then you start flying to the right, somewhere right about in the middle of this large landmass, sort of near the south area, kind of right where my cursor is, that's where you're going to be finding Necrozma. He's just kind of chilling there, and go for it. Just go ahead and take him down. He's going to be having Power Gem, Iron Defense, Rock Blast, and Stored Power, so you may want to do your False Swipes early before he gets his Iron Defenses up. Next is going to be Kubfu, and this is a notable one because Kubfu, this is the first time you're going to be able to choose the Pokeball that this Pokemon is going to be in. If you played the DLC from Pokemon Sword and Shield, he was always in a Pokeball as well as every Urshifu ever, but now it's going to be able to be in every single Pokeball in this game, which is a lot of them. Anyways, the fast travel point at Fury Falls, he's there. He's just chilling there. And also something to note is he's level 30, so you're gonna be fine. Next is gonna be Glastrier. At the Glacedo Gym, if you're gonna be heading directly south of there, you're gonna be seeing these ruins. These ruins are notable for being the place that Spirit Tomb spawns, just a little bit north and ever so slightly west of those ruins. Glastrier is just going to be chilling there, just out in the snow, just chilling there. You may want to be careful because Glastrier has Double Edge, Taunt, Thrash, and Iron Defense. Double Edge is going to damage it in recoil, and Thrash is going to be able to confuse him. So I would highly recommend, once you have him paralyzed and at 1 HP, to go ahead and swap in a Ghost-type Pokemon. That way neither Double Edge nor Thrash are going to work. You're going to be able to just throw Pokeballs at him and not have to worry about any recoil. Spectrier is going to be at a pretty unique location right next to the Dalazappa Passage. On the map at Dalazappa Passage, if you look just to the left, you're going to be seeing these ruins. These ruins are where Spectrier is going to be located. He has the moves Double Edge, Disable, Thrash, and Agility, and he is a Ghost type. So if you have a Pokemon who has Soak to be able to use False Swipe on him, I would recommend that. And if you have a Ghost type Pokemon, that way he doesn't hurt himself with Recoil of Double Edge or hurt himself in Confusion after completing Thrash, would definitely recommend both of those things. That's how you're going to be able to get all 25 legendary Pokemon in your copy of Pokemon Scarlet or Violet with proper interactions from the other version of the game. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.
Man, they see me shining like I got the charm. Stay strapped, got that jet ball in my palm. Felt from the sky, guess I'm the chosen one. And if you need to know how, check out Austin John. Champion flow, yeah, I got that champion flow.